Me, it was kind of, hoping and praying that it was going to come to work, and obviously going through the draft and, realizing that they didn't get a safety, I was like, like, here it comes.
It's happening.
And it happened, so, yeah.
You've been on some great defenses, to say the least. This defense, though, on paper, looks like it can be as good as anyone you've been on. So tell me about it. What are you excited about on this defense, and how good can you guys be?
Man, we could be really good. I mean, these guys have already been, a top 5 defense, before I got here. And, I think, obviously, the front level, second level, and the third level, I think we got real players, at real positions. And so for me, I'm just willing to put my hand in the pile and, hopefully create some turnovers and make some plays. But, we got great players all over this defense, so it's going to be fun.
Talent is one thing, but I've had the benefit of covering this team for a couple of years now, and every free agent that comes in here seems to assimilate into that locker room real quick.
Yeah.
What's been your impression of just the culture in New Orleans?
Well, I think the culture has really been established there, many years ago. Obviously, it started with Sean Payton, and, I think D.A. is doing a great job of continuing it. And then, too, I think players as well. A lot of guys love the city. They love to play here. They love playing the Superdome. It's just something about the New Orleans people that can get you riled up. So it's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most, is running out of that tunnel, in the Superdome.
I was about to ask you that. Are you excited when they start playing Choppa Style inside the dome?
Choppa Style. So, yeah, I'm like real New Orleans. I knew all those songs.
Yeah. I love it.
How does your skill set, though, match up with this defense schematically? Seems like it's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
They take the football away.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout your career, you're known for taking the football away. So how do you guys mesh that? Will we see you roaming a little bit more, or down in the box a little bit? What is that going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think this defense, is really going to allow me the opportunity to, once again, showcase my versatility. I think people will see me playing deep safety. They'll see me up on the line of scrimmage. They'll see me standing over a guard, doing all the things I've been doing, the last 10 years. So, it's really, for me, just about, buying into the system, learning the system, so that way, once we start playing games, I could just go out there and do what I do best.
All right. Obviously, we know at LSU they've got one of those buildings, the athletic facility, named after you. Is that your hope here in Metairie?
I hope so one day. I was just walking past Deuce McAllister's office. I was like, maybe, one day.
And are you power ranking which friends and family get access to your tickets? Because I can only imagine the ticket requests. I know Jarvis is getting them.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine how many requests you're getting.
Well, I put in for a suite. It comes with about 30 tickets. So,
that should be enough.
After that, man, I think everybody's on their own.
So let's talk about football a little bit. What's been the biggest difference in your mind so far from day one that you got here? I know you missed probably a week of handling your own personal business, but since you've gotten here, what's been the biggest difference, the growth that you have seen from this team so far? Because games are coming up. You guys are about to start playing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, we're really stacking good days. I can see that, from our young guys to our veterans, just stacking good days. And I think that's really, all we're in control of, right? It's just coming out here each and every day, going against each other, trying to make each other the best we can be, and then holding each other accountable as well. And so you can see that picking up more and more each day. You can see the energy continuing to rise. Offense going against defense is getting real competitive. I think we're at that point where we want to play against somebody else. But it's been good, man, working against each other.
I could talk to you much longer than they will allow, but one final question for you. You've gone up against plenty of quarterbacks in the league. I think sometimes there's a little bit of misperception about Jameis Winston. Yeah. What's been your impression of him, seeing him out here at practice? What stands out?
Man, he's one of the hardest workers I've been around. I've been around some of the best quarterbacks to ever throw a ball, from Carson Palmer to, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. I've been around a few of them, and, he's one of those guys that, he's the first one in the building, the last one to leave. When you see him, he's always sweating. He's always putting in work. He's always interacting with teammates. And I think at that position, you got to be a guy that can relate to your team, and you have to be somebody that is out in the front, that is working hard, and that other people can really see.
All right, we appreciate your time so much and excited for you. I know New Orleans is excited for you, LSU fans, and you seem excited to be here too.
Yeah, absolutely. The state of football. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's the state of football. Also, I love the shirt, legendary. How about this? This is legendary. Barry Sanders, Mooch, is going to be joining ITC Live within the hour from Lions Camp with Stacey Dales and Sean O'Hare. This is, I just found this out. This is remarkable. We're going to have Barry Sanders on. And also remember that the Lions are going to be part of Hard Knocks this season.
That was Sean Payton that brought that on. And when I took over here, you know, one of the things that I wanted to do is keep a lot of the culture that we have here with the Saints, because Sean did an unbelievable job of developing this culture. And one of the things that we've always challenged our organization is really to compete in everything that we do. And our guys are doing a great job of it throughout training camp, and it's just part of who we are and part of what this organization is, and it really started with Sean.
Coach, obviously continuity has been great for this team, particularly when we talk about the offense. But what footprint do you want to put on as you make this your team? Obviously, you've been with this organization for a long time, but what do you want to be a hallmark of what Dennis Allen and your coaching legacy is?
Well,
here?
look, I just want our team to be tough. I want our team to be really smart and understand how to operate in situational football. And I want them to be highly, highly competitive. And I think if they do those three elements, we've got enough talent on this football team that we have a chance to be successful.
I think most people, when they look at the Saints, the casual fan, they would say, hey, a lot of talent on this roster. Obviously, the question mark is what you're going to get from the quarterback position. What have you seen so far in training camp to make you believe that those guys, whomever is going to be, Jameis, Andy, they'll play at a high level?
Yeah, well, I think they've executed at a high level throughout training camp. You know, I think training camp practices have been, you know, really highly competitive. And I've seen both of those guys execute the offense, execute the passing game with timing, rhythm, and accuracy, the things that you have to do from the quarterback position. And so I feel real confident that we've got actually a deep group there that can help us win.
You've had the benefit of seeing Michael Thomas before the injury. To get him back in the building this offseason and back out in team drills this weekend, what stood out to you about his game and his development and those 2 years away from the facility and not being on the field?
Well, I think I'm seeing a physical wide receiver right now out here at practice, and that's really a hallmark of who he is as a wideout. I think he's moving great. I think he's in a great space mentally, and man, it's been really exciting to see him out here. It's been a big boost for our football team.
How much did this offense need the wide receivers that you've got right now? Guys like Chris Olave, guys like Jarvis Landry, and to get Michael Thomas back? Yeah,
well, look, it was an area that we felt like we needed to improve. And I feel like it's one of the deeper groups that we have on our football team right now. So I'm excited to see these guys go out and play and really looking forward to it. Speaking of
the deep group, let's move to the defensive side of the ball. You got a deep group on the back end. Your secondary seems to be really coming along. But I want to talk about the defensive line for a little bit. Marcus Davenport has missed some time, but all people are saying is this guy can be a great player if he stays healthy. What's the key to him being healthy this season and helping your team?
Well, look, I think number one, is making sure that we're smart about how we bring him back and don't rush him back too soon. We're fortunate that we have an extremely deep group up front, especially at the defensive end position, and so we have the luxury of not having to force him back too soon. And then look, we just got to do a good job with him and maintain, doing a little bit of a maintenance plan throughout the season. But he certainly is one of our best football players when he's healthy.
How much do you like the energy that comes with some of these Saints practices? I know it helps. You guys have got guys like Demario Davis and Cam Jordan, but just seeing the way they all rally around each other in practice, how unique is that just in your experience?
Well, I think it is unique, and again, I think that started with Sean. I think we're doing a great job of carrying that on. Our guys just love to compete. And so when you get talented players in your building that love to practice and love to compete and love to come to work every day, makes my job fun, makes my job easy. And so, but it starts with getting the right people, and I think we got the right people in our building.
Last question for me, Coach. I can't let you go without talking about your running back, Alvin Kamara. He's a special talent. How special is this guy, and how impressed have you been of his development over the years?
Yeah, look, he's a special player. And I've seen an extra gear in him this training camp. I think he's really kind of stepped up, and I think he's got an opportunity to potentially take his game to another level. And I think, again, he's locked in mentally. He's practicing extremely hard.